Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. The conference had just ended, and the participants were outside celebrating with drinks and laughter. I didn't want to witness the typical post-conference revelry, so I quietly slipped away, hoping to find a calm place to eat alone. After wandering a bit, I ended up in a nearly empty bar, sat down at a table, and waited for my food. At that moment, a woman entered, about my age, with blonde hair and wearing a well-tailored business suit, and sat down next to me. She waved to the bartender, ordering a drink with obvious urgency. "Something strong, double," she said. She quickly drained her first glass and immediately ordered a second. Socializing isn't my strong suit, which my wife always teases me about, calling me one of the most reclusive people she knows. However, for some reason I felt compelled to say something. "Rough day?" I asked. She looked at me with her blue eyes, which glistened with unshed tears. Without responding, she silently finished her second drink, got up, and headed for the exit. But instead of leaving, she collapsed into a chair by the door, her shoulders beginning to shake with sobs. Not knowing what to do, I hesitated, then approached and gently placed my hand on her shoulder. "Sorry if I'm intruding. Do you need help? Maybe I can call someone or a cab?" Her tear-streaked face lifted to me, her eyes swollen with grief, her expression reminding me of a lost child. In that brief moment, it felt like my heart stopped. All I wanted was to comfort her, to assure her that everything would be okay. On the table nearby was a box of tissues and a bottle of hand sanitizer. I took a tissue and gently wiped her tears until her sobs gradually subsided. For a moment, gratitude flashed in her eyes. When her tears finally ceased, she looked me in the eye and quietly said, "Thank you. You didn't have to do that." She gave a weak smile. "Funny how it all started with your awkward attempt at conversation," she added, still smiling faintly. Before I could respond, she leaned in to kiss me. I instinctively turned my head, so her lips touched my cheek. I gently placed my hands on her shoulders and kissed her forehead. But she didn't stop. She came closer again, this time aiming for my lips. I hesitated. "Are you sure this is what you want?" I asked with doubt. Before I could rethink it, her lips touched mine, and any resistance quickly faded. My hotel was just a few minutes' walk away, and we went there together. However, throughout it all, a sense of unease lingered. This wasn't like me, and I wasn't sure I even wanted it. When we entered the room, she asked, "Mind if I use your bathroom?" I nervously sat on the edge of the bed, listening to the sound of water running in the shower that filled the room. My stomach churned, and time seemed to slow down. When the water finally stopped, a wave of dread washed over me. She emerged from the bathroom completely naked, her blonde hair cascading down her shoulders as she approached me. She reached for a kiss again, but all I could think was, "I need to take a shower." Under the cold water, my mind raced frantically. The whole situation felt surreal, as if I had been ripped from reality. After what felt like an eternity, I emerged, put on a robe, and sat back on the edge of the bed. Nothing made sense. After a long pause, I finally reached out to her. "I'm sorry," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "I didn't want you to misunderstand. I can't do this. I'm really sorry." She looked at me with an impassive expression and simply said, "Good job." Without saying another word, she dressed and quietly left the room. The next morning, my wife Amanda met me at the airport, smiling warmly as I approached. "How was the conference?" she asked with lightness in her voice. "Something strange happened last night," I began, still feeling anxious. Amanda's smile grew wider and she said, as if she knew something, "I already know." Surprised, I asked, "What do you mean, you know?" "The woman you met last night is a close friend of mine. We made a small bet. We wanted to see if our husbands would remain faithful. She lost. I won." It took me a few moments to process her words, and then the reality of the situation hit me like a wave. I could have lost everything I had built over 30 years, the marriage I cherished so much, but I passed the test. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.